Hello, welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're doing a Christmas card again, and we're going to use Quite Curvy, which is the lovely new stamp set with all the lovely curves on it, and I've really loved the robins or the birds. And we are going to be using the Cherish the Season and the Sounds of the Season dies. You can get them both together as a bundle and you save 10%. And we're using some of the little bells on with the dies, and we're using the Merry Christmas as the sentiment. So we are going to start off with, let me move these out of the way. We are going to move it that way. We're going to take a piece of copy paper. Now I've just chosen, this is just coloured copy paper. You want something that's fairly thin because we are going to be stamping over, and the thinner it is, the less likely you are of getting a big ridge. So we've got this, and I have cut it exactly the same size as my card base. If you do that, you then know that it is going to be exactly where you want it. I've cut the oval using the stitch shaped dies, and the oval just works perfectly for this, and I've used the largest oval. So we're going to take some crumb cake this time, and we're going to take a sponge dauber, and we are literally just going to sponge round the side. So just all the way round the side. And you need to do it sort of fairly lightly, and we don't want it to come all the way in. So we're just literally just taking it round the sides. This will give us a little bit of definition that we want. And we can take it, once we've got it round, we can go round again and just get that little circle or the oval going. So you just need to do it quite gently, and you don't want a huge amount of colour on there. So that's probably about all that we want on there. Okay, then we are going to get the Very Versailles stamp set. I use the Very Versailles an awful lot because of the lovely script, and we're going to use this script to just give some definition to this background. So I'm just going to pop this in on a block and make sure that it is as straight as I can get it, because we want the words to come in as straight as we can. So if you just sort of line it up and eyeball it so that it's straight, and then you can see if it does slide at all you need to do is to just put it back, because it's exactly the same size. So it's a way of ensuring that you have the same side. Now we're just going to ink that up in the crumb cake, and we're going to take one piece on one side and stamp it out, and then you can see there's a little bit of a space, so we're going to ink it up again, and we're going to do it on the other side, and you'll see that the way the curves go, you can line it up so that it will come exactly in there, and it doesn't double up over too much, which is what we don't want. So that has given us our little background and has just given a little bit of extra detail on there, which is what we want. So I'm just cleaning this up with my Simply Chamois, and then that can go back in its case. Now we are going to take the Quite Curvy and we're going to use the little flowers on here. I really like them, and because they are curvy, it means that when we put them on this here, it's going to line up perfectly. So again, I'm just straightening it out. If you want to use some tape, you can do, but I find that if you use your paper cut exactly the same size, then you don't need to. Now I'm using Memento because we're going to colour it with blends. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to move it down a little bit so I can see for my stamping. So just put that up where I want it here. And you can see that you got the curve of it. So we're going to take the first one and we're going to just literally line it up so that it comes on the inside and some of it on the outside as well. So we can then just turn it round. We're going to take some more, ink it up again, and again with the curve in the same direction, we're going to take it round, and you can line it up to where it is and just take it round on there. Turn it round to the other side. Ink it up again. This one should come down. On there. And then we've just got a little tiny bit at the bottom, but again, because the way the stamp curves, you can just take it in, and if you line it up just carefully, it's not then going to come in on the other bit. So we've gone all the way round in that. Just put the lid back in on here and get my Simply Chamois out again. Clean it up, and then this can go back into its case. Just going to put that in on there because I'm going to be using it again later on. So we can now take our, put my stamp pad back. We can now take the mask off, and you will see that you have this lovely pattern going round. And then what you need to do is you need to take your blends and you're literally just going to colour it in. So I'm only going to do a little bit of this because I've done one, because you don't need to see me colouring. But what I tend to do is I will go round and do all of the leaves first, and then because I wanted it fairly Christmassy, I turned round and took the flower here in a red colour. But you can see you can just take it right the way round and just colour in those leaves as you go. So just take them round, use your blends and colour it through. Now let me show you the one that I have completed. We would need to put a sentiment down at the bottom, but I've done one already. So let me just get the one that I've completed here. So you can see I've stamped the sentiment, and I've done it in black because I wanted to mount it on black. I will show you on two, but the black actually stood out really well, and I've done the little flowers just in the light cherry cobbler in there, so you then get that that colour. Now I've die cut the bells because I wanted those bells to go on. And we've got the, let me show you on the size of those bells, because we've got different sized bells in the Sounds of the Seas, and it's a really lovely stamp set. And bells, again, you can use bells at all times of year. Bells for wedding, particularly good. Bells for anniversaries. So you don't have to just make it for a Christmas card, but you get, with these, you get a very large bell. You get the middling sized bell. You get the smaller bell, which is the one that we've used. And you get a tiny bell, and I've used both of those. You also get the dies to cut out the stamps, and you get some foliage as well. So it's a really lovely set, and I think bells will work for all sorts of things throughout the year. So although it is in the autumn winter mini, it's something that, as I say, I can see it being used for June weddings and you know, right the way through the year, particularly for anniversaries. Now, we could put these up with dimensionals, but I'm just going to put them down with some wet glue. Reason being that I don't want to have too many layers on this. As I've said before, if you're posting a lot of Christmas cards, the difference between adding an embellishment and not can make all the difference between putting it on one sort of postcode, one sort of stamp price point, and moving it up to the other. Okay, so I'm going to put this one straight down in on the center like this. And I've used the lovely brushed metallics. As I've said to you before, the brushed metallics to me are just lovely because they give that real subtle look. They're not overly sparkly or overly shiny, and I think that really works for a bell. Then I'm going to take the two little bells. Just need to press that down so that it sticks. It does take a few moments for the wet glue to stick. And then these two little ones, I'm literally just going to put down on either side in the little sort of space that there is on this one. So we'll have one just tucked in on that side, because I think it looks quite nice to have them at different heights. So we'll have one there, and we'll have one in on the other side. And then for the mat, you can decide whether you go for crumb cake, cherry cobbler, or just put that one in on here, maybe just out just a tad, or black. So I've got two of the colours that I want. I'm just making sure that they're stuck down. As I say, you could put them up with dimensionals if you wanted to, but this is it against the black, and I think it just stands out beautifully against a little matte, 1/4 of an inch matte in the black. Now, to me, that really sort of stands out and pops. Now I haven't got cherry cobbler. This is Merry Merlot, but again is a darker red. So you could put it on there, and again that gives another sort of classic look. So if you wanted to do it on this one, you could change that font and do that in the Merry Merlot. So you've got both ways of doing it. I don't know which I prefer. I think I like both of them. And obviously this one, once we've coloured that one in, that will then go on to another one. But again, I really love the fact that those flowers going round the side, it makes a Christmas card, but not a traditional hollies and berries and things like that, but still a beautiful card. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well and be kind. Bye-bye.